Hi there, welcome to the Healing Migraines Naturally podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Leslie Caesar, and I'm a licensed naturopathic physician, former chronic migraine sufferer, and I've dedicated my life to helping other women with chronic migraines rediscover a migraine-free life. So welcome to the podcast. So today I want to talk about a message, a comment that I frequently get. So sometimes it's kind, sometimes it's frustrated, sometimes it's actually angry, but underneath it's the same thing. Dr. Leslie, just tell me what to do. Tell me what to take. Stop explaining why everything else doesn't work and just give me the answer. And I understand it. I really do. When you're suffering, you don't want a philosophy. You want a list. Take this, stop this, and be better by Friday. So today I'm going to answer that, honestly. And I'm going to tell you why I don't just hand over a list of supplements and a protocol. And it's not the reason you might think. It's not that I'm hiding the answer. It's that the answer was never a list. And I know that better than almost anyone because I lived it. So let me tell you what happened to me in 2012. What happened to me in 2012 is I got very sick, not migraine sick. It was a full-blown health crisis. I lost my thyroid. I became severely anemic. And I don't mean a little tired. I mean, I could not walk up a single flight of stairs without feeling like I was going to literally collapse at the top. My body did not have what it needed to carry me up a staircase. And getting better was not some sort of tidy story. It took years. I needed blood transfusions. I needed iron infusions. It was one thing after another over a long stretch of time, just to claw my way back toward feeling like a person again. And I was not doing this in a quiet, empty life where I could lie on the couch and focus on healing. My daughter was 2 years old at the time, 2. She needed her mother, and her mother couldn't carry her up the stairs. I had a husband who, I know now, was quietly wondering where his wife had gone. The woman he married was somewhere underneath all that exhaustion, and we were both grieving her a little. So life did not pause so I could get well. The 2-year-old still needed food. The household still needed to be run. I was the one that everyone depended on, and I was running on empty. And that is exactly where almost every one of my clients is. Young kids at home, older kids who still lean on them, a partner wondering where their wife went, a whole life full of people who depend on them, and no spare capacity to, quote-unquote, follow a protocol on top of it all. So here's the part that I really want you to think about here. I am a naturopathic doctor. I understand better than most people on earth what my body needed. I knew the biochemistry. I knew the nutrients. I knew the principles. If knowing what to do were enough, I would have been the easiest patient in the world. And I still just couldn't do it. Hi there. I want to jump in real quick and tell you about my client Beth. She was getting 15 to 20 migraines and headaches per month. And as you can imagine, this was impacting her work performance and her confidence. She also has 2 small children, and she was starting to feel like she was a horrible mom because she had nothing left for them at the end of the day. But she reached out and she booked a free consult call with me, and after I asked her about her migraines and her health history, I felt confident that I could help her. I help women uncover the root drivers of their migraines and follow a step-by-step plan to dramatically reduce the frequency by up to 90% without adding more medication or taking a bunch of supplements. So we built her personal migraine map, followed the plan, and now she will get 1 to 2 migraines per year, which she uses ibuprofen to treat if she needs to, versus up to 15 to 20 per month when we first started working together that weren't responding well to any medication. She just reached out to tell me that she got a promotion at work, she's on top of her career again, and has been able to come off all of her migraine medication. But most importantly, she's a confident mom again, and she's attending birthday parties at Jump Zone with her kids and saying yes instead of saying maybe later. I've worked with women like Beth from all over the United States who were told, this is the best we can do, but they were still willing to dig deeper. So if you're serious about changing your migraine story, go to drlesliecaesar.com/apply or tap the link in the show notes. And on our free consult, we'll map out why your migraines keep coming back and the first 3 steps you can take over the next 30 days. I do cap new client spots each month, so if the calendar is full, the doors are closed for now. But if you're done feeling helpless and ready to do the work to heal, pause this episode for 30 seconds and book that consult call now. I recovered in bursts. I could do a little, I'd get better a little bit, I'd get wiped out, I'd have a window where I felt like I could make progress, and then I would have a crash and I would be on pause for several months. I got very demoralized, deeply demoralized. There were nights I woke up at 3 a.m. and cried because I was so afraid I was never going to get better. Afraid I wouldn't get to be the mother to my little girl that she needed, the wife that my husband missed. I knew exactly what my body needed, and I was lying there in the dark, terrified, unable to will myself well. And this is what almost no one will say out loud about healing. The information was never the hard part. I had all the information. The hard part was doing it in a body that was exhausted, in a life that kept getting interrupted, while I was scared out of my mind. So when someone says, just tell me what to take, I want to gently turn it around. Think about it. The internet is drowning in migraine information. There are thousands of articles, hundreds of protocols, endless lists of what to take and what to avoid. Every supplement company, every influencer, every health blog is handing out the answer for free all day long. If a list were the cure, not one of you listening would be sick. You'd have Googled, or, let's face it, in 2026, you'd have ChatGPT'd your way to health by now. You can open your phone right now and have an AI write you a personalized migraine protocol in 10 seconds for free. And still you're suffering. Not because the right list is being hidden from you by me, but because a list was never going to get you out of this. I could sit here right now and rattle off 10 supplements and a diet and a routine. I could, quote unquote, spill the beans as people want me to. And you know what would happen for the vast majority of people? Nothing. Or worse than nothing. Because handing a depleted, overwhelmed, hypersensitive person another list of instructions just adds a pile of instructions they already can't do. And honestly, if you're prone to migraines, being handed one more overwhelming to-do list is frankly a great way to get a migraine. So let me tell you what actually happens when a migraine sufferer gets handed a protocol, because I lived a version of it and I watch it with my clients all the time. You walk out of an appointment, or you finish a podcast, or you close a book with a bag of supplements and a stack of handouts. You're motivated. You're going to do all the things. Monday, fresh start. And then your body does what a body with chronic migraines does. You're hypersensitive. So the new supplement, the changed bedtime, the different breakfast, any of it can tip you into a flare. I'm not exaggerating. For a lot of my clients, even shifting their sleep by an hour can set off a migraine. You can't take someone this sensitive and dump a dozen changes on them at once. It's like turning on every light in the house at once when the wiring's already overloaded. You don't get more light, you blow a fuse. The changes themselves become triggers, and then the migraine comes. Okay, now we've got 3 days gone. You're in a dark room, and finally when you surface, you don't pick up the protocol right where you left off. You spend the next few days catching up on everything that fell apart while you were down. The laundry, the kids, the work. By the time you're caught up, you're bracing for the next flare. The momentum is gone. The list is sitting on the counter, mocking you. It's like the spoons problem, right? If you live with steady, predictable pain, you can try to ration your energy, try to ration your spoons across the week and plan around it. But migraines don't give you that. You got 3 days of spoons just vanishing right out the window without warning. You can't run a 12-step protocol on a spoon budget that randomly empties out. So you go back to the doctor, to the plan, having done almost none of it. And here's the cruelest part. You feel ashamed. You think, oh, I couldn't even do it. What's wrong with me? Everyone else must be able to follow the plan. And then the practitioner looks at you and thinks, oh, non-compliant patient. That is not your failure. That's the failure of handling a flaring, sensitive, exhausted body, a model built for a steady one. You were set up to fail by the format. not by your willpower, not by your character. I know this because I'm the doctor who knew everything and I still couldn't execute the plan when my body was on its knees. If it were a matter of knowing and trying hard, I'd have sailed through. But it isn't. It never has been. So, if it's not the list, what is it? It's the doing. It's the implementation. And implementation for a person in this situation is a skill and a process. It's not a document. It's not a checklist. It's not a cabinet full of supplement bottles. What actually works is the opposite of a big plan. It's one small change at a time. One thing this week that you can actually succeed at, calibrated to exactly how sensitive you are, how often you're flaring, how many kids you have, what your life actually looks like right now. For some people, I can move at a moderate pace. For others, you can't even dip a toe in the water. You've got to dip a toenail in. And the only way to know which person you are is to assess it carefully before changing anything. And then you do that one small thing. And it works because it was small enough to actually do what it needed to do. And that little win rebuilds something the flares and the failures have stripped away. The belief that you can do this. Then the next small thing, and then the next. Small changes compound. People are often noticeably better within a few weeks if you do it this way. Not because the changes were dramatic, but because they were the right change at the right time for that body, and they actually happened. They were actually implemented. The timing piece matters more than almost anything, and nobody talks about it in the migraine world. People aren't just doing too much, they're doing things at the wrong time. It might be the right thing later on, but it's the wrong time for their body right now. The thing that's perfect for month 3 can give you a really bad migraine on week 1. And a list can't know that. A list gives everyone the same steps in the same order, regardless of who they are or where they're starting. And that's the whole point. It's not a protocol. The 3 principles that I talk about on this podcast, the 3 things our body needs to restore itself back to health when it's fallen out, and to maintain its state of health going forward. Those 3 principles, those are universal. They're true for every single person on earth. They're true for every single condition. How we actually diffuse your migraine, which wire to cut, in what order, in your particular tangle, that is unique to you. Your migraine bomb is wired a specific way and nobody else has your wiring. You can't hand someone a generic diagram for diffusing a bomb that's put together differently in every person. And this is also why an AI can't do it for you. You can ask ChatGPT for a protocol and it'll give you a very confident, tidy one. But ChatGPT doesn't know how sensitive you are. It doesn't know that you flare 3 days at a time, or that you're so reactive that we can only dip a little toenail in the water at first, or that this is the wrong week for that particular change for you. It has all of the information, and it has none of you. Calibration to a specific human body in real time is exactly the thing it cannot do. So here's something else I've learned doing this for years. Just about every client hits a real difficult moment somewhere in this work. And it's different for every single woman. Sometimes I have a hunch about what's going to be hard for a particular person, and sometimes it catches me completely off guard. What flattens one woman is easy breezy for the next. You cannot predict that from a list. You can only walk through it with someone in real time when it comes. And you cannot put it in a PDF. You cannot download a relationship with your own sensitivity. You cannot download someone walking beside you week after week, adjusting when you flare, catching you when you get demoralized, picking the one right next step out of 100 possible ones and being there for the hard moment you didn't see coming. A list, a protocol, can't do any of that. A human doing the work with another human is the only thing I've ever Seeing actually move people from stuck to well. And that's why I built my practice the way that I did. Weekly, one small step, calibrated to the person. Definitely not because it's trendy. Heck, most of my colleagues think I'm a little crazy for working this way. And some days, I'll be honest, I look at the conventional route, match the diagnosis, write the prescription, 12 minutes, next patient, and I think, wow, being a neurologist must be so easy. But I didn't choose the easy way. I chose the way that actually works for a condition like this. So let me be plain about what I give away and what I don't. The why lives here on this podcast for free. Why migraines happen, why triggers aren't the cause, why the supplement didn't work, why your body is doing what it's doing. I will explain the mechanism, the physiology, the whole picture all day long, and I'll never put it behind a wall. I want you to understand what's going on in your own body. That's the whole work of this podcast. The how, the actual implementation, the week by week doing it with you in your specific body and your specific life, that's the work that I do with my clients. That's what you get when you walk through that door. And I'm not going to apologize for that line for two honest reasons. One, this is my profession. This is how I support myself and keep doing this work. And no one expects their surgeon or their lawyer to give away the actual service for free. And the expectation that I should runs into two beliefs we've all absorbed without realizing it. The first is the false belief that just because something is quote-unquote natural, it must be simple. No skill, no training, just take this root or this vitamin, anybody can do it. It's natural. It's just the opposite. Doing this well takes as much training and clinical judgment as anything in medicine. Natural doesn't mean easy. It means working with the body instead of overriding it. And I'll be honest with you, that's harder, not simpler. The second is even deeper. We've been taught to picture health as something you pull off a shelf and then sit back and wait to receive. Take the thing, wait for it to happen to you. But that's not how it works. Your body generates the health. Nothing external hands it to you. And the sitting back and waiting is the very thing keeping you stuck. And two, and this is the bigger one, giving it all away wouldn't even help you. If I dumped everything I know into a free document tomorrow, it would help my competitors copy me, and it would help almost no actual migraine sufferer. Handing you the full protocol for free would just be one more thing you end up failing at. One more item on the stack of failures that's already chipped away at your belief that you can do this at all. It would make me feel generous and leave you worse than stuck. I care more about you actually getting well than looking generous. So to the person who's frustrated with me, and I say this with love, I hear you. And I'm not withholding the answer from you. I'm telling you the truth that nobody else will. The answer was never a list, a protocol, a supplement stack, a food list, a migraine diet. I've learned that lying awake at 3 a.m, a naturopathic doctor who knew exactly what her body needed and still couldn't will herself up a flight of stairs. I had all the information in the world. What I needed to do was do it. In bursts, with support, one small piece at a time, through the fear. That's how I got better. That's how my clients get better. It's the only way that this is going to happen. So if you've got a stack of protocols you've never been able to follow, and you're tired of feeling like it's your fault, it isn't. You don't need another list. You need a different way of doing it. And I know you're scared. Nearly every woman who comes to me is terrified. Not of the migraines. They're scared of this. Is it going to be hard? Am I going to be able to do this? They ask me straight out, how hard is this going to be? Can I do this? Do you think I can do this? So let me tell you what I tell them. Is this going to be hard? Yes, more than likely. It might be one of the hardest things you've ever had to do. I've had clients where we've confronted some of the most painful things they've been carrying for a long, long time. Sometimes I was one of the very few people in their life they'd ever told. But it had to be done. It had to be confronted. So that's what we did. And we got through to the other side. So I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it's easy, because that's a lie everybody else is selling. But you're already doing hard. Living with chronic migraines is hard. It's one of the hardest things a person can do. Restoring your health is also hard. Choose your hard. One of them keeps you exactly where you are for the rest of your life. The other one gives you your life back. Both are hard, completely different destination. So if you're ready to choose the second one, come find me. Book a free consultation call with me. We'll talk about where you're at with your migraines, other health concerns. It's going to be the best 30 minutes you've ever spent talking about your health. And we'll put together a game plan to get you feeling better, one step at a time. So thank you so much for listening today. Again, that link to book a free consultation call with me is in the description. But please share this with someone you love. I know a lot of migraine sufferers, they have friends that also have migraines. Share this podcast. We're trying to get the word out. It would help if you give us a review, a like, a subscribe. That would really help us out. So thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll talk to you soon.